Boo! Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold stream. On today's stream, we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we will be playing a Stage 2 of the Duelist Cup, which should start in about an hour from now. Until then, we have some things to talk about. We have new cards, PogChamp new cards. So we're going to take a look at some of those, and then, okay, this video from Joshua Schmidt really, truly confuses me to no end. Best decks for the Master Duel Worlds qualifier, and the thumbnail was that this is the best format ever, and I went, huh? So there's that. Anyway, we're gonna take a look at these new cards. We have ourselves a new Link 2 monster, helping Robo for underwater combat, which is a Link 2 water machine Link effect monster. It's a water machine. How many of those are there? Probably not many. Well, I guess the Crystons are all machines. Are they all water? I think so. Anyway, it's 800 attack with the bottom right and right arrows. Requires 2 machine monsters. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. You cannot special summon the turn you activate either of this card's effects except for machine monsters. If this card is Link summoned, you can target a monster your opponent controls and destroy both it and this card. Then you can special summon one non-water machine monster with 1600 or less attack from your grave. Sure. And then if this card becomes banished, you can add one machine monster whose attack equals its defense from your deck to your hand. Okay, how am I meant to banish this? I have no idea what machine decks do. I literally could not tell you whether or not this is good or not. But it's a card. We're posting a submarine card that pops itself on the same. Anyway, we have some new TCG World Premiere archetypes, which immediately starts with a full art, which is kind of interesting. Okay, interesting. We have Witness of the Ancient, which is a level 8 light machine tuner. Tuner! Kill it. Get it out of there. Tuners! We can't have tuners anymore. Level 8 light machine tuner effect monster. 0 attack, 3000 defense. If you have a synchro monster in your field or grave, you can special summon this card from your hand. Sure. If this card is special summoned, you can place up to 3 synchro monsters with different names from your extra deck and or grave into the spell and trap guard zone as face-up consume as spells, and special summon an Arc token, which is a machine light 0/0, with a level equal to the number placed. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except for synchro monsters. That is a wild effect. I don't know how applicable we'll obviously see, but I don't know how applicable that is. That is an interesting effect, to say the least. So there's that. And then we have Shaman Knight. Someone tells me you'll like the new archetype. We'll see. We have Shaman Knight, which is a rank 3 Dark Warrior Xyz effect monster with 1724. It's a 3. It's a generic 3. Okay. I'm always hesitant with generic 3s because there are so many ways to get access to a generic 3 monster or rank monster, which gives you, like, if this does the whole combo, it kind of breaks the mechanic in my mind, where it's like, oh, now you don't have to, like, find the actual individual card. You can just, like, do some other combo to end on whatever it may be. But we'll see. If this card is Xyz summoned, or if a trap you own is banished, These are continuous spells? Okay. You could target, well, I guess they would still be monster cards, but it doesn't say. Okay, sorry, I'm getting too much in the weeds. Notably, this is applicable with the Centurion cards, because I believe they are treated as continuous trap cards, which means that you could utilize the continuous trap monster Centurions, and if any of those were to be banished while they are traps, I think, actually, I don't know how that works. Don't quote me on that. Forget I said anything. Or if trap you own is banished, you could target one of your banished traps and attach it to this card. Okay. You can detach any number of materials from this card, then target one dark monster in your grave or banishment with a level equal to the number detached and special summon it. You can only use this effect once per turn. You detach any number of materials from this card, then target one special summon. Okay. Okay. I struggle to find application for this, but sure. Why not? We have Angelic Problem. Angelic Problem? Whatever. Field spell. That says once per turn, you can discard a spell Trap to special summon one level 2 Angelic monster from your extra deck. And if you do, plunge an Angelic monster from your extra deck in your spell and trap card zone as a face-up continuous spell. If a face-up Angelic monster card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can return one Angelic monster card you own from your spell and trap card zone to the extra deck, then you can special summon it. If a face-up Angelic monster... Okay. A level 2. Are there level 2s? I didn't... Oh, there's one. Okay. The Enlisted. Speaking of which, we have a level 10, we have a level 8, we have a level 7, and we have a level 2 Synchro. Interesting. We'll see how that goes. None of these are tuners, I believe. This one's a tuner. Why is this one a tuner? Because this guy's also a tuner. Okay, well, okay. Level 10 Light Fairy Synchro Effect Monster with 3k attack and 0 defense. Requires 1 tuner and 1 plus non-tuners. It is generic. I'm scared. Shaman is not lab support. Stovey Torby specifically... is a level 2. Chandra Liger is the level 3, but that one doesn't special summon itself. So. Anyway, this says you can target a monster your opponent controls, banish it. Comedy. If this card is placed in the spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell, you can add a Angelic Trap from your deck or grave to your hand. You can only use each of the preceding effects once per turn. Why is it written that way? Okay. While this card is treated as a continuous spell, your opponent can only attempt to activate up to 5 monster effects per turn. Oh, interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. Because on one hand, like, that is a fine floodgate. Like, 5 monster effects is still quite a lot of monster effects. But it also isn't a lot as well. Like, oh, it's a lot, but it's also not a lot. But it's also only while it is being treated as a continuous spell. So, like, there's a lot of ways to deal with that within 5 monster effects, and you can very easily deal with that without any monster effects. But it is still a floodgate. I don't know. That's an interesting... And it's not difficult to put this card into the back row. So that's something. Cool. We have Bastion, Angelic Bastion, which is a level 8 Light Fairy Synchro Effect monster with 3k25. Requires a tuner and a non-tuner. Again, generic. You can only... Actually, this one does not require multiple tuners. It only... Or multiple non-tuners. It just requires the tuner. Or it just requires the 2 pieces. Interesting. You can target one other card in this card's column, banish it. Funny. If this card is placed in the spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell, you can place one Angelic Shatronga. Who? Oh, this guy. Oh, and then this one grabs you the trap. Add a trap. Okay, there you go. From your extra deck in your space, in your spell trap zone as a face-up continuous spell. You can only use each of the preceding effects once per turn. While this card is treated as a continuous spell, other Angelic monster or other angelic cards on the field cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. And this one says, like, yeah, okay. So if you have multiple, basically, if you see this guy, you place the 3 into the back row. Your opponent is floodgated into only activating 5 monster effects per turn, and doesn't have a clean, effective way of dealing with your angelic cards. They can't, like, Harpy's Feather Duster it. They can't Raigeki it. They can't do anything else of that nature. I think that's fine. But okay. We have Destrier. Angelic Destrier. Level 7 Light Fairy Synchro. They are fairies, which is cool. Light Fairy Synchro. Wait, I just realized. Is this guy also a fairy? He's a machine. Whew. If he was a fairy, that would have been a big problem. It's very easy to get access to specifically light fairies, and to, like, make use of light fairies in a bunch of archetypes. So you have to kind of be... I think it's kind of bad to have main deck light fairies. But I guess it's not, like, the worst. Anyway. This is a level 7 Light Fairy Synchro effect monster with 25 2k. Requires a tuner and a non-tuner. It's a level 7. You can target one monster in another column and banish it. That's even funnier. If this card is placed in the spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell, you can add one Angelic spell from your deck to your hand. You can only use each of the preceding effects once per turn. So this one adds the spell, the other one adds the trap, and then the other one places the other guy. Okay, sure. And then while this is treated as a continuous spell, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, you can inflict 5. 5's a lot. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Rook, I would imagine queen or king, and then the knight. Okay. I see the imagery there. Yeah. That makes sense. Cool. And that also makes sense as to why this is a different... This is the same. Same column, banish it. Different column, banish it. And then this one is just a monster. This is just card. Interesting. A little bit more applicable. And then we have Enlisted, which is obviously a pawn, which is a level 2 Light Fairy Synchro Tuner Effect monster, which has 15/15, requires a tuner and a non-tuner. And then you could target one opponent's monster in this card's adjacent column, banish it, comedy. Then change control of this card by moving it to one of your opponent's main monster zones in this card's adjacent columns. Are we performing an en passant? Is that what's happening? Okay. Regardless of, like, balance or fun or anything within the actual game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, this is one of the coolest archetypes. Like, immediately, this does chess way better than anything Archfiend was doing. Is this supposed to denote, like, a... Or I guess it's just taking the piece, right? You just go here, but, like, you are taking the piece. Capturing it. That's hilarious. I love that. That's so fun. That's so funny. Okay. Yeah, because you're going to the adjacent column, so it'd be one of these on the diagonals. Banish it. Then you take... then change control by moving it to one of your opponent's main monster zones in this card's adjacent columns. So, yeah. You would just go into one of the adjacent columns. Does that work with extra monster zones? Could I, like... If I'm in the middle main monster zone, can I target either of the extra deck monster zones? Because it just says adjacent column. So I would imagine so, right? Interesting. If the control of this face-up card changes, return this card to the extra deck, then the owner of this card special summons one Angelecki monster from their extra deck. Oh. How interesting. Yeah, the back row effects are just floodgates. So I understand that. We have Disturbance, which is a normal trap card. This says give control of an Angeliki monster you control to your opponent until the end phase. And then if your opponent controls a face-up monster, a face-up card in its adjacent monster zone and or spell trap card zones, their effects are negated. Hilarious. You can banish this card from your grave to add an Angeliki spell trap from your deck to your hand. And you can only use each effect once per turn. Interesting. You go, here you go. That spell, that monster, negated. Then, if your opponent controls a face-up card in its adjacent monster zone and or spell trap card zones, their effects are negated. That's not... Give control till the end phase. If your opponent controls a face-up card in its adjacent monster zone... How does this work? Because this, to me, sounds like it's kind of... it's akin to, like, an imperm, where it's like, oh, I'm negating that one effect. Or like Veiler, I guess, would be better. Where it's like, I give this to you, and then once it hits that zone, the monster next to it gets its effects negated. But now the trap has resolved, and now this monster isn't, like, marking the rest of its zones as negated. And so, like, you could still summon a guy next to it, it just wouldn't have its effects negated. I don't know if that's the case, or if it is, like, this guy is now just a negation for these however many zones. What's up, Digimon? How's it going? Interesting. You can banish it to add a spell trap from deck to hand. Pretty cool. And then we have opening to E4 comedy. They literally just said chess. Normal trap card. If your opponent goes first, you can activate this card from your hand during the standby phase of their first turn. I like that. I immediately like that. I like that. That's already good effect. Place an Angeliki field spell from your hand, deck, or grave face up on your field, and if you do special summon 1 level 2, how the hell would we get this in grave? There's a possibility. Special summon at 1 level 2 or 7 Angeliki monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone. And if you do, place 1 Angeliki monster from your extra deck in your spell and trap card zone as a face-up continuous spell. Until the end of your next turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except for synchro monsters. Place a field spell from your hand, deck, or grave. Oh, I guess you could just activate this not on the first turn. I was like, why would we be able to do that? Because you could also just activate it as a trap. It's not explicitly a go second hand trap. Place a field spell from hand, deck, or grave, and if you do, special summon a level 2 or 7 Angeliki monster, and place an Angeliki monster from extra deck. So you could summon this guy, or obviously this guy, and gain access to the field spell. I don't think the field spell does anything, technically. I guess it grabs protection, right? If a face-up Angeliki monster you control is short card effect, you can return you own from the spell and trap card zone to the extra deck and then special summon it. So yeah, it's basically like additional insurance, right? Because like the first effect doesn't do anything during the opponent's turn, but then it's like you special summon a guy, then if they do a thing and remove the guy, specifically via destruction, you would then use the other guy in your spell and trap card zone, bounce him back, and then special summon him. So there's that. And that basically gets you everything, right? Because you can go Bastion and Shatronga off of the Bastion to basically set up the entire line. Though you would probably want to go this guy. Would you want to go this guy? Maybe. Hard to say. Maybe you would go this guy. Just because he's bigger. Very interesting. This deck is sick. This deck is really cool. This is like exactly what cards should be designed for. It is technically turn 0 plays, which I do not necessarily think every deck should have. But I do like the idea of a card being able to be activated, or more specifically, having an advantage if you are the going second player. Where it's like, oh, now you get to do a thing because you are already inherently at a disadvantage. I like that way more than just being like, hand trap your opponent. It's like, no, you're getting an advantage. Like, Ketu is a really well-designed card in that aspect because that's exactly what it's doing. Hey, if your opponent has cards and you are behind, you then gets to do something. You get to do an additional thing. Very interesting. For Gate combined? Gate Guardians combined. Why doesn't the effect work to special summon the other combined Guardians if the Gate Guardian did leave the field by opponent's card effect? I don't know what the card says. Is this face-up special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card? You can special summon one level 11 or lower Gate Guardian monster from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. There's a myriad of ways that you could have been like locked out of activating the effect in Grave. Like, did you activate a Purge early in their turn and now you can't activate the effect of Dark Monsters and therefore you can't activate the effect in the Grave? Did you have your effects locked down in the Graveyard where they weren't capable of activating, or in the Banish or something else of that nature? Was, you know, do you not have a target for it to special summon and therefore couldn't have special summon something? I don't know. So if you special summon them in the second main monster zone, then you have 4 potential negates. He did say face up, yes. Just made it to dual level max. Nice. Playing Radiant Typhoon. Oh, never mind. Not nice. Ew, Radiant Typhoon? Anyway, this deck's sick. Really cool. Not a fan of this card. This card kind of seems lame, but the rest of these cards are really cool. Big fan of them. My only issue is there's not really a good way of gaining access to the synchros. Like, there's one extra deck or main deck guy. So it's like, you don't really have a lot of things to do with these guys. So we'll see. If it's returned to the extra deck, you can't respond because it's now in the extra deck. As far as if it was sent to Grave, that's different. Again, I wouldn't know. Anyway, cool deck. We have a few more world premiere cards. These are likely just pack fillers, and they're not going to be good, but we'll find out. We have a new normal trap card. That's Distrust Paranoia, which says take control of all your opponent's monsters in this card's column. If this card, or if this set card in its owner's control has left the field by an opponent's effect and is now in the grave or banishment, you can special summon this card as an effect monster with a Fiend, Dark, level 10, 4K, with the following effect. This is not treated as an effect, and it's unaffected by the opponent's card effects activated in the same column. I like that. That is a good way to make something unaffected. I don't like the word unaffected. I think that is an inherently bad design choice. But hey, at least you can interact with it. We have Yomagna. Yomama. The Fire Phantom, which is a level 10 Dark Pyro effect monster. Hold on. Chaotic. Okay, yeah. Interesting. That cannot be normal. Sorry. 3,300 attack, 0 defense. Cannot be normal summoners or set. Must first be special summoned by or from the hand by shuffling 3 cards of the same type, monster, spell, or trap, from grave into the deck or extra deck. And then if this card is special summoned, you can declare a monster type. This card becomes the type until the... Oh, it's only type. It's only type. So it would still remain dark. I was like, Light Fiend. This card becomes that type until the end of this turn. During your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters on either field, including this card. This is an Ashen buff. It's not very good, but, like, this does apply to Ashen. Cool. We have Thunder Crash Snare Crow, which is a level 8 light thunder effect monster with 1628. Each time a non-thunder monster is special summoned face up while this card is in the monster zone, that monster cannot attack this turn and destroy it during the end phase. Interesting. Okay. If this card is in the grave, you could target 1 face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, add this card to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. That is... something. Mixausia, the Confounder. Okay. Level 8 Dark Spellcaster Fusion Effect Monster, 2715, requires a Spellcaster and a non-Spellcaster. You can target 1 face-up monster on the field and declare an attribute. It becomes that attribute during your opponent's main phase. You can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing this card you control and monsters from your field or grave as material. If this card is in your grave, you can declare an attribute. This card in the grave becomes that attribute until the end of the turn. Huh? Okay. Very interesting card. Oh, I get it, because it's the Confounder. Okay, that makes more sense. Serenemesia? Serenemesia? Mythical Beast of the Forest. It's a level 2 Earth Beast effect monster with 0/16. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can banish 1 face-up beast monster from your hand or face-up field until the end phase to special summon an Earth Beast monster from your deck or grave with an equal or lower level than that monster's original level. Then your opponent can special summon 1 monster from their hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Your opponent's monsters that can attack must attack the monster you control with the highest attack that are choice of type. Okay. So it can banish itself. And it banishes itself until end phase. It doesn't special summon itself back. It banishes itself until the end phase. And then you would special summon from deck. Didn't the... what are they called? Melfi's. Didn't they just receive a whole bunch of new support? They did, yeah. They received Godmommy, they received Rabbies, and then the Spell and the Trap. And this one says if your opponent normal or specials, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you fusion summon a Melfi fusion monster. Oh, I forgot about the fusion. If this card is special, normal or special summoned, you can add a Melfi monster from your deck to your hand. Then if you add a normal monster, you can special summon any number of beast monsters from your hand. Right. Right. So this is basically additional starters for that archetype. Melfi Sprite, let's go. We have Imposter Shift, which is a continuous spell that says when a monster effect is activated on your opponent's field by targeting a cards on the field. Sorry, what? When a monster effect that was activated on your opponent's field by targeting a card on the field resolves. That is worded weird. If any of those targets are in a different column than that opponent's monster, you can banish one card from their grave if they did not negate the activated effect. If they did not, comma, negate the activated effect. Oh, they can banish a card from their grave. Oh, this is going to be used in, no, it's not going to be used. I was like, oh, this will be used in Exosister because it forces the opponent to banish a card. And then I realized, why would you play this in Exosister? They have a card that does this. That's just better. You can banish a monster from your grave to special summon an imposter token, which is a Psychic Earth 800/800, with the same level as that monster. Incredible. And then we have this guy. Not even going to try to say his name. Which is a rank 8 light beast, winged beast, Xyz effect monster with 3k 21. It's generic. If a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard, you can target one of them, attach it to this card, except if they're earning the damage step. Is that a once per? You can only use this effect once per turn. Wow, crazy. This card gains effects based on the number of materials attached. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect for 2 materials. Your opponent cannot target cards in the graves with card effects for 3 materials. And for 4 materials, you can detach 3 to send 1 monster on the field to the grave. This card is bad. But it's a Zeus target. No, it's not. This card's bad. Why would I make this? If a monster is sent to your opponent's grave, you can target one of them, attach it to... Where? Who in... Okay, sure. Like, none of these cards are particularly terrible, but they're also not great. I mean, they are pretty much just pack filler, right? But that's interesting. Okay, we're going to take a look at this video. And the reason we're taking a look at it is because if we actually look... Let me pull up Joshua Schmidt's YouTube page. We can see his thumbnail is best format ever, question mark. And if you know my feelings on the current metagame, you probably understand that I am actually not a big fan of this metagame. In fact, I hate it. I think it's a terrible metagame. And it is almost not... Yeah, it's basically entirely not because of the actual meta, quote-unquote. But it's due to the simple fact that there is so much shit running around. So much that just needs to be cleaned out. So I just have not enjoyed this format at all. There's just so much random shit that you get blown out by with, like, Baron still existing, with Maxi, with Shifter, you know, Zodiac now exists even more. So we're going to see what Joshua Schmidt's thoughts are on the metagame.
The year again.
Also,
we are doing a Master Duel tier list. The Worlds qualifier is upon us, and I actually do think that the current Master Duel format is quite interesting. It's honestly one of the most promising Master Duel formats we've had, maybe ever, probably ever.
Promising? Promising? The hell is promising about this format? Brother, what?
I want to talk about it a little bit, give you some perspective on the current Master Duel format, what I think of certain decks.
I wonder what he means by promising, because this format has felt the most one-sided for going first that I think I've ever felt. Like, it feels unplayable going second. There are so many decks that just, like, hard win going first. And there is, like, nothing you can do going second. Like, theoretically, oh, Branded has the ability to play going second, and then, you know, that's it. And then the answers stop. You can't really do anything else, right? It is either you go first and win the game, or you get hand-trapped to death by very specific hand traps / go, like, turn 0 plays, like Vimena, Holly Sue, Izana, stuff of that nature. I don't know where this sentiment is coming from. But okay.
Always, you know, the format is still relatively young. I've tried basically all the decks on this list at some point, but some to, of course, more extent than others. Yeah, the categories we're going to use today is the absolute best decks in the game, which are, well, the best decks in the game, and then decks that are just good, decks that are all right, then decks that are more roguish, and then decks that you can play, but you would be playing for fun if you are playing those in the Worlds Qualifier, but yeah. And then, as always, there is a little bit more nuance than just these 5 categories, but we will just talk about that when we get there for these individual decks. And we'll also touch on some individual versions and stuff like that once we get to the individual archetypes. Okay, these are not sorted in any way, so let's just start with some of the more obvious ones in the current format. I do think Gultune has established itself as...
Also, where the hell is Ryzeal? Someone mentioned in the comments that I read that just Ryzeal isn't on here, and I would love to know why. That deck is still extremely good.
One of the best decks in the format, and I do say...
No.
One of the best decks in the format, and I do mean that. I don't think the Master Duel right now is in a situation where Gultune is like by far the most dominant deck or anything like that, but it is one of the best decks for this upcoming...
Oh?
Duelist Cup, and it does have some advantages, which we're going to talk about.
Brother, Malice is better than this shit. What are you talking about? This deck sucks ass. I really hope you draw the correct hand traps against a wide metagame. Good luck.
A second when we get to some of these
and you
other
don't
decks,
have a generically applicable just Omnipop in Fidralis. I'm sorry, this deck just isn't good. It's not true, but it's very far from the top end.
Gultune is quote-unquote like the hand trap deck in the format. There's a lot of decks around actually right now that are not very hand trap heavy, but if you do want to go for hand traps, then Gultune is by far your best bet. It does have some weaknesses in Master Duel as opposed to the TCG and OCG. There's no Fidralis Harmonia. That is somewhat of a big deal because Fidralis Harmonia is of course a...
That is a massive fucking deal. I don't think people understand how big of a deal that is. Like, I really don't. The sheer quality of hand traps that exist within Master Duel as opposed to the TCG and OCG, I think are such a clear downside for this deck, because sure, you could play Ash or Ghost Bell or Ghost Ogre or something else of that nature, which could do something against your opponent's deck, but Fidralis Harmonia is a starter, extender, disruption, multiple disruption, omnipresent, omnipotent hand trap that kills decks into the sun. And the difference of KT having it and not having it is fucking night and day. And while I don't necessarily think that that is the sole reason Gultune is good and one of the best decks in the game, I think it is such a disservice to the other decks that are so much better and have been so much better throughout the current and past metagames that it is... I don't know, it's baffling to see that this is talked about so highly.
Phenomenal card, but there are replacements for it. You can play Ghost Ogre. That card is okay in Master Duel right now. You can play Cyframes. There's ways to replace the Fidralis Harmonia in the deck, and overall the deck is pretty good, but there are a couple of strong counters in the format, which we are also going to talk about. So yeah, Gultune is pretty strong, and there's that. For me personally, Gultune is a deck that I think is very, very good in the early stages of the Worlds Qualifier. I think I do expect to play a little bit of Gultune myself on the Friday, just because you get quick games in on day one, and you don't get like, you don't lose automatically when you lose the coin toss to some of the crazy combo decks in the format, which would be the case if you were playing something like Sky Striker or Branded, which are decks that I also really like. But on day one, I think it's probably better to play something with a little more like consistency and hand traps and stuff like that. And Gultune does that the best by far. Speaking of Sky Striker, a lot of you guys are probably waiting for my opinion on Sky Striker, so we might as well get it out in the beginning. I think Sky Striker is a good deck in Master Duel right now. I personally, even though I love this deck, would not put it in the best decks category. This deck has very polarizing matchups, unfortunately. You are going to have...
I don't know if I'd even put it in good. I think I put it in like tier 2 or something like that. I think I still even rated it too highly. The problem with it is simply... Here's the thing. 2 things you have to know about Sky Striker. The players who play Sky Striker, and a lot of the top players, are extremely experienced on Sky Striker and are going to have more of a bias towards it than like anyone else, right? Like someone who just like picks it up, regardless of whether or not they're a good player, is just not going to have the matchup experience that like Joshua Schmidt or who's the other guy? Ryan Yu or the myriad of other top Sky Striker players will have. And I think that is something of note. I don't think Sky Striker is that good of a deck. I think top players almost exclusively have so many reps on this deck that they can pilot the deck in a way that basically no one else can because they are just better players. I think that that makes it look a lot better than it actually is. Similar to that of like Plant Link. It's like the only time we ever saw Plant Link was when it was in the hands of specific dedicated players who only played that deck. And it made it look significantly better than it actually was. And it was just because like those players were just better at that deck. I think Sky Striker's in a kind of a similar world where it's like, yeah, it's a little bit more popular, so more people will generally play it. But I think it has some really bad matchups. I think it has some really bad downsides, right? Like, it is not good into, like, Branded or into Draco Tail or into, like, you know, it's not great going second. I guess it can play going second, but, you know, it's not as good. But it's also not great going first. Like, it can just be hard stopped by, like, an Ash Blossom. And then you're just kind of stuck there being like, oh, well, I guess I just don't have anything because they ashed me, you know? And there's a bunch of stuff of that nature where it's just like, yeah, sometimes you just die to, like, random things that you just can't deal with, right, in Sky Striker. That's pretty much it.
A wonderful time if you queue into Cool Tune all day. It's a really fun matchup.
The Altars coming back?
Perspective, and it is good for you. So you're going to have that advantage. However, there are a couple of problematic matchups in the game right now. Any combo deck that you go second into, you usually have a bad time. You know, your Elf Nodes, your White Forests, your Magnet Warriors that can end on the Naturia Beast or something like that. Like, all of those decks are really, really tough matchups for Sky Striker. And just from my experience from previous Duelist Cups and Worlds Qualifiers, people play these decks in Master Duel. You're going to run into these.
3 Dark Holes and 3 Red.
You're going to have a bad time, which is why I personally wouldn't recommend Sky Striker for the early stages. Like, in the first couple, like, 1,000 points, I wouldn't play Sky Striker. I think
Congratulations.
Sky Striker is a great deck, maybe on the later stages when a lot of the good players maybe are playing Cool Tune and you notice that you're playing against a lot of Cool Tune, then I think Sky Striker is a great deck to whip out. It does struggle a little bit with Branded as well, which is a deck we're going to talk about in a second, and that's also rough. So I do think that Sky Striker is a good deck in Master Duel right now, but it does have very polarizing matchups, so you can only really pick it when you face a certain metagame of like the Cool Tunes of the format. Sky Striker is completely fine. Speaking of Branded, I do think Branded is rivaling Cool Tune, if not even better than Cool Tune, for the best deck in the format. I am a big fan of the Branded deck right now in Master Duel. I think Branded has, as opposed to Sky Striker, a very, very, very balanced matchup spread. It does have a decent matchup into Cool Tune, although not quite as good as Sky Striker. It's slightly worse into Cool Tune than Sky Striker, but still favored. It's got a good board going first. It's resilient to a lot of the hand traps in the format, and with Super Poly and Droplet and Fallen into Virtuous and stuff like that, and Fuwalos in your deck, there's like no auto losses going second, except if it's like an actual FTK that you're going second into and they just pull through with Fuwalos or something like that. But I do think
Malice
that is making some really good points at actually being maybe the best deck in Master Duel.
I guess technically speaking, if you draw like Fua, yeah, like that can help you against Malice, but they'd have to resolve, which we all know.
The thing with Branded is that, and this is specific advice for like the Worlds Qualifier, I can imagine Branded being a very exhausting deck to play for all 3 days of the Worlds Qualifier. So once again, I do think it's something that, you know, maybe I'll be saving it for like day 2 or day 3 because, you know, timer issues. And also at the very high level, once you get to the later stages, if you're playing high quality Branded mirror matches or Branded versus Sky Striker, Branded versus Draco Tail, those matchups are exhausting. And this deck needs a lot of practice. You need to be quick with your decisions. Otherwise, the time...
Who the fuck is this guy? Hand Trap Anea.
There's going to be a huge
Sorry,
issue.
I saw that
if
comment.
all those things are done correctly, I do think Branded is a very, very
the hell are we playing Hand
right
Traps
now, and I do expect
crap
to play it for a decent amount in the second stage. A deck that is relatively similar to Branded is Branded Draco Tail. Now that, you know, the Branded cards are in Master Duel with Fallen of the White Dragon and Fallen of the Virtuous, this deck is heavily influenced, of course, by those Branded cards, and it is also a really good deck in the format. This deck was regarded as the best deck in the TCG format. That's probably closest to this current format, which was without Cool Tune, but all the rest was pretty similar. It's the YCS Dortmund format, basically, where it was a lot of Draco Tail, a lot of Radiant Typhoon. This deck is good. My issue with this deck is that it does struggle with inconsistent hands sometimes, because you play the trap cards, you play some engine requirements, you play a lot of like spell cards that you don't always want to draw with your 5 manas and stuff like that. But overall, the way I look at the comparison between Branded and Draco Tail Branded is I think Branded is a better deck into most other matchups, with the only exception of the mirror match. Because
and here's where I have to stop you. Almost every single Draco Tail card is just better than almost every single Branded card. That's not entirely the case, but it almost is, because every single one of the, or I guess it's more akin to like Cool Tune, right? Where almost every single one of the actual Draco Tail cards does a thing when used as material, giving you the ability to more effectively use your entire lineup of cards to deal with opponents' boards, to stop them from setting up or whatever it may be. And they do not play nearly as poorly into pretty much any of the hand traps. So there's that. They also play out of the hand, I think, a little bit better due to things like 5 mana, right? So like unless you get called by, you know, you're probably going to have a good time by being able to play out of the hand, whereas Branded doesn't really have the capability of doing that. So, you know, specific anti-meta cards like Evenly Matched are going to be more of a problem against Branded. I think this is the best deck in the game by a lot, because it's just better Branded. It's just better Branded. I think Branded might have some better matchups, but I think across the board, Draco Tail specifically just is the better deck and has the better cards.
Because Branded Draco Tail, I think, has an edge over pure Branded with the use of mainly Draco Tail Sting. And also Draco Tail Horn being able to out the fusions if they ever put them in attack mode. Draco Tail Flame is obviously also a good card, but mainly it's just looping Sting over and over and over again. That's a really, really good win condition against Draco Tail. So when Branded Draco Tail goes first and actually resolves the full combo, it makes a stronger board than Branded, and it makes a board that's really hard for Branded to break. So in that specific matchup, I think Branded Draco Tail has an edge, but in other matchups, I think Branded is usually the better deck. And it's, for example, also going second into Cool Tune, Branded is better than Branded Draco Tail.
In what world is Branded better than anything else? Branded, like, hard loses to a bunch of hard combo decks because they just can't play hand traps. They have to play Engine, which really heavily hinders them against, like, Magnet, or against Elf Note, or against Malice, or against Zodiac bullshit, or against this motherfucker. Like, Draco Tail has the ability to play hand traps and have actual plays going second, giving you the ability to actually interact with the opponent. That is the big upside of playing the Draco Tail version. And it's just better Branded. I don't know.
Because there's a much higher chance that the Cool Tune player just looks at your hand with Branded Draco Tail. They see like an Urgula, they see a Draco Tail trap, and it's much easier for them to outplay the rest of your hand. So the Cool Tune matchup is harder for the Draco Tail cards than it is for Branded, which is why I think overall Branded is probably the better deck, but I think Draco Tail is a good call if you just run into a lot of Branded and you want to play something that's
Branded
a little better
plus
than
Super
that.
Poly often gives you push into almost
and these
every board.
are, I think, the best 3 decks in the
With
format
the
right now.
sheer quantity of like FTK boards that currently exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, I can't agree with that. Like, yeah, sure, Super Poly does help. Except for the fact that Cool Tune can end on one fucking guy and still kill you into the sun. Or, you know, Elf Note can end on like 10 million interactions, including many from the back row and the main monster zone, allowing you to not really play the game into like 9,000 interactions, right? Not to mention all of the hand traps. Malice is actually just an FTK. And it's like, yeah, like Draco Tail is just the better version of Branded. If they play against a Draco Tail Branded, like that's just straight up a disadvantage. And the Cool Tune, yeah, I think arguably Cool Tune is worse of a matchup against Branded as opposed to the Draco Tail Branded. But also Draco Tail Branded does have the ability to more effectively actually start playing the game on the opponent's turn, whereas Branded just kind of has to sit there and take it.
Talk about some other decks that I think
unless you're playing a weird version with like a million hand traps, which is very rare.
And not viable contenders in the format right now. But I think this is what's shaping up.
Maybe that's the better version.
Here is the 3 best decks in Master Duel right now, and I think it's Branded beats Cool Tune. Cool Tune is better against Draco Tail. Draco Tail is pretty good against Branded. I think that's the little triangle that we have at the top, and then the rest of the format is going to revolve around those dynamics. So, a deck that I've been getting a ton of questions about recently is Radiant Typhoon and also Radiant Typhoon Zodiac. I do think these 2 decks are different, but they are both viable for this upcoming, or for the current Master Duel environment. They're both pretty solid. With the introduction of the Fallen and the Virtuous, that was a huge boost to Radiant Typhoon in general, and also the introduction of Zodiac, Ratpier, and Broad Bolt to the format again spawned a hybrid of these 2 decks. Personally, I think Radiant Typhoon is in a pretty good spot and actually is a deck that is maybe up for contention to be the 4th deck up here. I do think Radiant Typhoon has a pretty balanced matchup spread against all of these decks up here. It has a very good chance at beating Branded.
Hold on, where's Vanquish Soul Canine? Did we just forget about that deck? Did we just forget about one of the best decks in the game? Literally, like, up there with Draco Branded Tail? Or Branded Draco Tail?
It has a good chance at beating Cool Tune, even going second with all the board breakers and draw spells, and it can also beat Branded Draco Tail with the right hand. And going first, it makes a really strong board. So I think there's a strong case to be made that Radiant Typhoon is very well positioned in the current format. That being said, I've played both of these versions, and I think the version without the Zodiac cards is better. Yes, the Zodiac cards make your going first even stronger. However, I don't think Radiant Typhoon needs this exactly, and I also think that they don't strictly make your going first better in every way, because they do add a couple of weaknesses into your deck that you don't have if you were playing pure Radiant Typhoon. For example, Mul Charming Fuwalos hits you now, which is a card that's not very good against Radiant Typhoon, but becomes very strong when you start with normal summon Ratpier. Also, the additional normal summons going second are usually not great unless you have a Mystical Space Typhoon access. Then you can turn your Swen and your Eldams into special summons, but it's not always the case. Sometimes you just draw multiple normal summons.
I think there are just better Zodiac decks as well.
But there also are some advantages to...
Like, even Zodiac Tri-Brigade, I think, is arguably better. I think Zodiac... What was the one that I was thinking of? There was another one that I tested that I thought was arguably better. And I can't remember it off the top of my head now. I don't know. But yeah.
The Zodiac cards that I don't want to go
I think Zodiac has
for example,
a place,
you are better into Drolin Lockbird. Now, my issue is Drolin Lockbird, if I'm looking at the top decks in the format right now, Drolin Lockbird should not see that much play, in my opinion. I think at the higher ranks, I don't think Droll and Lockbird is going to be that popular. It's not good against Branded. It's not good against Branded Draco Tail. It's sometimes good against Cool Tune. And so I don't personally think Droll and Lockbird
but it's fantastic against
Vanquish
Troll K9.
Cup. It could always be wrong because it is Droll and Lockbird, and maybe people want to be safe against stuff like Radiant and Sky Striker if those end up being more popular than expected. But
also, it's terrible against Radiant Typhoon. What the fuck are we talking about? When was the last time you saw a Radiant Typhoon player not literally draw everything they could have drawn to start their plays before you could roll them?
Weak to Charmies is a bigger deal than being weak to Droll and Lockbird. So that
they made their searchers fucking quick plays.
If everyone was playing Droll and Lockbird, then yes, probably better to go with the Zodiac cards over the pure version of the deck. But they are, all things considered, I think they're relatively close in power level. I personally just prefer the pure version because I want to make room for the Board Breakers and the Sheenas. I think those are the cards that make Radiant Typhoon good. I don't want to play a more combo-heavy version of the deck, quote-unquote, basically. But I think this version is valid. Archmage. Archmage is a rogue option. I don't really see a reason to play this deck in Master Duel as of now before we get the Power Patrons. It's a scary deck potentially going first. A lot of the decks that are very auto-win going first,
yeah,
well,
I don't care about Archmage.
I really, really adore. Right now, it's just not the time. And what I said about Archmage, it's probably going to any sort of way to negate your dispersion and the fall into Virtuous for your Brilliant Fusion or whatever. I think it's really
not everyone has my kind of bad luck.
So it's really not that great. Maybe even down here. Honestly, I really don't have that much faith in Gem Knights. Lunalight is a rogue deck right now simply because it does struggle into some of the top decks at the moment. I do think it.
What are we talking about? It struggles. Struggles into Branded? The fuck is Branded doing to a Liger? It's a genuine question. I guess you make Titaniclad? If you don't immediately send it to the graveyard to get Quem? Yeah, sure.
It doesn't have the greatest time against Draco Tail and Branded because both of these decks, if played properly, can out Liger Dancer. So if you do get to make a Liger...
Please explain to me how either of these decks outs a Liger Dancer in a best of one, where you don't get to know what your opponent's deck is. I'd love to fucking know. I'd love to know. Yeah, the Branded player surely is just not gonna send the what is it, Titaniclad to the graveyard to trigger its effect in grave during the end phase to special summon out a Quem. True. That's just not gonna happen. So they're obviously gonna have it to out the Liger Dancer. Anyway, second Liger Dancer? I guess.
It doesn't automatically mean that you win the game. Even Cool Tune hypothetically can out one Liger, and it's not that hard. If you get double Liger against Cool Tune, or even against Branded and Draco Tail, you're still winning probably with double Liger, but that's usually not the greatest indicator for Lunalight. Like, because basically winning the game with double Liger is the equivalent of winning the game if you go full combo with a combo deck. With Lunalight, it's like the formats where Lunalight is really good is when one Liger Dancer is likely to win you the game. And I think that is not the case right now. I think that's especially
it is
irrelevant for Lunalight's going second, right?
I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. Dogma, recycle Titaniclad. By that point, you've already lost. The Liger Dancer has already kicked your teeth in. And then they can set up a second one.
Like, Lunalight's going first, it's still a really scary deck, but when it goes second, usually the game plan is throw everything you have at them and try to get one Liger out at some point, right? I think that's not really the case at the moment, because if you play into a Branded board and you barely get to make one Liger, they just out that with Titaniclad next turn. It's not that hard. Like, if you're just going one Liger pass, it's just not enough. Cool Tune can out it. Cool Tune also very, very hard matchup going second when they know your hand and they know exactly what to play around, whether it's heavy poly or other things. They will know exactly what to negate and what to not
I don't
negate.
necessarily think it's that. I would just put it slightly up. I don't think it's a rogue option. I think it's all right. I think it actually is a good option, because I think the like weaknesses that he's talking about is like, oh yeah, don't worry, they're just gonna make one. They're just gonna make one Liger Dancer. You know, oh yeah, against Branded, they're just gonna have the one Liger Dancer. You know, and it's like, no, they're likely going to be able to summon two. And if you go second into that, you're fucked. Like, you just lose. Like, none of these decks going second into two Liger Dancers is gonna do anything. Cool Tune probably has the best matchup into it because you can actually hand trap them. It was like, yeah, neither of the other two decks are gonna do shit. So the assessment, I think, is flawed. Where it's like, of course, yeah, like, there are outs to a singular Liger Dancer for both of these decks. The reality is, if it is an unknown archetype and an unknown deck, and you get a Liger Dancer dropped on your ass, and you go, oh shit, my Titaniclad's in the fucking grave, I'm toast. There's very little you're going to be able to do. You will be so far behind on advantage and the ability to even make a Titaniclad, let alone the potential for them to make a second Liger Dancer. Maybe you're capable of winning that game. But I don't think it's as cut and dry as like, oh, don't worry, they'll just make it on the following turn. It's like,
and that's something that Lunalight really needs to be successful. So I don't think Lunalight is a great deck right now. Malice is still a scary deck. I don't think it is particularly strong right now.
And now he's lost me. Motherfucker, what the hell are we talking about? Ah, yes, one of the best decks in the game that has no real downsides and no one is prepared for in a best-of-1 format is, I don't know, it's fine. Bro just doesn't like combo decks. It's obvious.
Just because it is kind of like an inconsistent
But yeah,
pile of
clearly,
cards,
clearly Malice. No, don't worry, it's dead this time. Don't worry, it's not very good this time. Don't worry, it's not
still
good.
has very good non-engine with Dominus Impulse, and Bystials are okay this format. I think Bystials are good against Branded, decent against Branded Draco Tail, good against Sky Striker. So I think Bystials are valid right now, which makes Malice a little bit better if it gets to play those, and it doesn't really care about those on the other side. I think Malice can do okay. It's got a solid matchup against Striker. If you go first against Radiant, you're gonna have a good time as long as you don't break, but that is a big if in Master Duel right now because they basically hit the consistency to shreds in this deck, which is really annoying.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. The Radiant Typhoon cards exist. They do the whole combo by themselves. What are we talking about? You've never played this deck. You don't give a shit about this deck. You want this deck to die. I understand. I do too. But this deck is insane. What the fuck are we talking about? Huh? It so consistently shows up in fucking every format, still to this day, with more aggressive hits across the board in more formats, where there are better decks. What are we talking about? This deck is like the most underrated deck. It's absolutely insane right now. If people are prepared for it, I would agree. I think right now, if people were prepared for Malice, I'd put it in all right. No one is fucking prepared for Malice. I think if you were playing Malice, you're probably gonna have a good time. No, it doesn't. What are we talking about? Malice has consistency problems in what regard? It does the whole line with like a Radiant Typhoon card. It does the whole line with a Cyberse monster, and there's like 10 million of those. It just doesn't have consistency problems. The half board under Droll. Brother, you can Droll yourself and still do the whole thing. What are we talking about? Huh? Are we talking about Malice? But Malice? The deck that doesn't give a shit about Droll? The fuck is Droll doing?
Especially when you're playing through cool tune hand traps and you have like suboptimal cards in your deck. Instead of drawing an actual starter, you have to go through cards like, I don't even know what they play right now. Sign It Mining, a Chi-Chi, or whatever. Like those cards are really telegraphed for your opponent to negate, and then it makes it harder for you to extend. So
wild.
It still has scary non-engine. It still has Dimension Shifter, so I can't put it too low. But I don't think it's.
I don't even think Shifter is good in this deck.
Mitsurugi is still alright in Master Duel. Kind of just struggles with like basically you have to choose. You have to pick your poison. You either play pure Mitsurugi, and that's just kind of like. It's crazy to say, but it's almost like too fair. I think going first, you're going to be fine if you do get to resolve your combo, but going second is rough. Also, the fact that Super Poly is very popular is hard for pure Mitsu, because if they Super Poly like your Futsu and your IP Masquerena, that's sometimes really annoying. Yeah, and then what's left is basically playing Mitsurugi hybrids, and I'm just not a fan of those in the format right now. I think if anything, you would want to play pure Mitsurugi, but with one prayer, your grind game is non-existent, and grind game is really important when we're looking at decks like Branded Draco Tail, Radiant Typhoon, and Sky Striker. Like, you really need to have good grind game, and Mitsurugi just doesn't have that anymore, and the hybrids are just more all-in than what I would like. So,
yeah, I mean, Mitsu's crazy.
Stun is playing for fun right now. You're just losing going second every time, winning going first a lot of the times probably, but realistic. Even going first, like, I don't even know what stun version is the best, because you get Fallen at the Virtuous and you're just stunned because they just remove your floodgates one after another. So, I mean, and also fun is a weird. I do realize now that this is a pile of incohesive cards. The matchup is probably doable for Mermail. However, Elf no combo slop decks in the format at the moment because it does have. Haven't played them enough to tell you which one's the best.
Notice how all of his like combo decks are down low. You really highly underappreciates combo decks, I think. I guess unless you count like Cool Twin as a combo deck, which I guess it is, but all of the like hard combo decks, I feel like he's just gonna have
going second on average. But it does have a decent amount of non-engine space to make up for that, and the Elf Node cards are relatively good at pushing because they don't.
So we'll see how this goes.
I wouldn't be a support that literally just wins the game, floodgate or bust. In usual Josh fashion, I've always lost the coin toss, and I started to get mad.
Where does he put a Neocraft?
And when they did their man combo, and I was like, oh wait, I'm playing Sky Striker. Oh wait, I'm playing Radiant Typhoon. Or oh wait, I'm playing Branded, and I'm just winning. It doesn't matter. I go Elbaz, send something for cost. There's nothing you can negate there. There's nothing you can negate. You can't stop me from my grind game. It's not working. I'm gonna get my Fallen at the Virtues in the end phase, pop your stuff, and I'm just winning the game off of that. So yeah, Thankfully, the Odeon players are now playing for fun. And the best news out of all of this is they're not even going to have fun. That's awesome, isn't it? All right, so man is gone, I think. I think it's bad. I haven't lost to it. I played against it a bunch of times. I went second almost every time. I never lost to it. It's awesome. Memento. Memento is an awesome deck that I always have a soft spot for Memento in my heart. I love this deck, but I don't think it's the best time for it.
Interesting.
It does probably struggle going second into some of these decks in the format right now. Probably around here. It does have a little bit more game going second into Cool Tune than you would think, because Memento is really good with quick play spells. You can build a really nasty, like pure Memento. The perspective 3 times as many hand traps as you play starters, which is crazy. And yeah, you can break the Cool Tune board, Striker, the thing, and okay. Eniacraft. This is going to be an interesting discussion because we've already talked about this on stream earlier, and a lot of people seem to really like Eniacraft at the moment, and I am a big fan of this deck as well. However,
I hate this deck. This deck's so boring.
This deck is... I think this deck is awesome. Here's the issue. I think if you think this deck is actually really, really good right now, I think you're kind of... It's a little bit copium because this deck puts a lot of the agency into your opponent's hands. And I'm telling you this from the perspective of both someone who's played Eniacraft and played against Eniacraft. 99% of Eniacraft's power comes from the fact that your opponent doesn't know what they need to do in order to beat it. There are a lot of tricks that every single meta deck has to beat it, like making a track maker with a mix plus a clip in hand or something like that, and then just going Chainlink 1 mix, Chainlink 2 track maker, no Chainlink 3 to respect the spider, and you get to remove a monster for free. And then later when you synchro with the track maker, once again, just track maker, bounce one of their monsters. You just need to be aware of all of the Eniacraft effects, and you're gonna have a really good time against it. Just don't target their shit as the highest...
Okay, here's the thing. If Odeon is in playing for fun, this should just be a rogue deck. If he puts it any higher, I think all validity kind of goes out the window for me. I was like, clearly we have no idea what we're talking about. Which, already on...
Chainlink, and don't go higher than Chainlink 3, and they can...
And a lot of this is coming from the fact that in regards to Master Duel, it is such a vastly different format from that of either the TCG or the OCG. And it is also so vastly different because of the fact that it is a best of one, which is where I think combo decks tend to thrive. So we'll
barely do anything about that. Branded, if you summon Chaos Star Source Dragon...
He's also European, so...
with a Quem on the board, and you go Chainlink 1 Chaos Star Source to pop 2 of their cards, Chainlink 2 Quem to revive, they can't do anything about that. If you're summoning a Mirror Jade, they cannot out that Mirror Jade without losing their entire board. There's nothing they can do about Mirror Jade graveyard effect most of the time. If you summon an unaffected Dogma, it's really hard for them to out. So many things, as long as you don't just straight up play into the picks.
Counterpoint, Shifter, / Fissure. That's like the whole game plan for Eniacraft. And if Droll's not good...
Yeah, or play into the spider, you're going to be fine. Radiant Typhoon, unlosable against Eniacraft if you know what you're doing. Yes, Pixia is really annoying for Radiant Typhoon because they can't target it. Very reliant on floodgates. If you want to beat a good branded player, a good Cool Tune player, a good Draco Tail player with this deck, you need floodgates, is the unfortunate truth with Eniacraft. If your opponent is bad, you can beat any of the top decks, no problem. Literally no problem. But if your opponent is good, you do need cards like Rivalry of the Warlords, Dimensional Fissure, at which point it becomes cringe floodgate deck that needs to go first. Which is unfortunately, like I said earlier, it's not inherently bad, it's just putting all of the agency into your opponent's hands, which I personally don't think is a great feeling. You're gonna have a lot of fun, and you're gonna have a lot of opponents to make fun of when they mess things up, but ultimately, on a competitive level, I think it makes it a rogue deck. I think it makes it a rogue deck because it does rely on that rogue advantage.
Yeah, Josh making the masterclass video on how to beat plants, and then Jess immediately getting top 4 is like, oh yeah, that's Europe.
That's that.
They have no idea what they're doing.
The clip chain block. The clip isn't even needed for chain blocking. You can just go Chainlink 1 mix, Chainlink 2 track maker. You don't need the clip. So yeah, I think the deck's all right. I think it's a rogue or your Rivalry because you deck thin a lot and then you draw like 4 cards.
And
there's a high chance you'll see it. So in that sense, it's pretty strong going first. More legs to it than it used to. I think because it's actually not that.
Where's he put Orcust? Orcust, I think, is a really good deck. I think it's heavily underrated. Similar to that of fucking Malice. Apparently, what the hell is Malice doing? It's all right. What the hell are we talking about? Malice?
Perhaps.
Okay, sure, bud.
So I think it's all right. Game Orcust has great grind game as long as it gets into the game. It does have.
Stop. Wait. Hold on. This doesn't make sense. Why the fuck are we putting Orcust next to Malice? Ayo? I'm so confused. I mean, yeah, technically that's where I would put it on the tier list, disregarding the other placements, but like, why is Malice here?
Problems going second sometimes, but it does have room for some pretty nasty. I think it's I mean, player who wants if you need.
All right, where does he put Yummy?
It's probably around here.
Huh? The fuck do you mean? Yummy's rogue. But Sky Striker's a good deck? And Yummy's 2 tiers. Not 1. 2 tiers below Sky Striker. Combo decks are not allowed. According to Josh, you can't play a combo deck right now. Imagine playing a combo deck with 1 Maxi and the infinite outs to the Roach. Yeah, imagine. That'd be crazy. Oh, yeah. Look, I have made some bad tier lists. I truly do believe I have made some bad tier lists. That being said, I do think that I give a fair shout to the decks that I actually know, and more specifically, the actual top tier decks. Why the fuck is Yummy and Rogue? What the hell are we talking about? We still have Radiant Typhoon. We still have the Tri-Brigade cards to pair with Yummy. We still have Mitsu. We can still do Mitsu Yummy. We still have Sulfacord. We can still do Sulfacord Yummy. Yummy is still extremely playable. We have 2 of the actual Link 1s that are really good. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. What the fuck are we talking about? No wonder he thinks it's a good format. He's like, clearly, combo decks don't exist. What the fuck are we talking about? They do. They're good. They're all really strong. That's why this format sucks balls. I don't know what meta he's playing in. I've never seen this. I have no idea where he's coming from with like 90% of this. The fuck is happening? He's just experiencing a different game from me. I'd love to be able to play this game. This game looks great. Except for that. But like, it looks good. But like, the fuck? Yummy and Rogue? Elf Note, Malice, and Orchist in the same tier, and it's all right. Uh-huh. Okay.
Probably here. Well, Pure Zodiac, and I do mean Pure Zodiac, not Zodiac Radiant Typhoon. I've seen, and this is a deck I haven't played myself yet. I want to try it, but I just didn't want to try it before the WCQ because I want to focus on other decks. I think this deck has some potential, but ultimately it probably ends up here because
yeah, he's been playing the TCG, and you could tell. This is a TCG brain. I get it, but it's like, this is a best of 1, bud. You don't get game 2 or 3 where these decks tend to shine. You get 1 game. If the Malice player combos on your ass, you're dead. You just die. Congratulations.
All of the combos I've seen from Pure Zodiac are somewhat impressive, but they require a decent amount of bricks in the deck, depending on which route you go down. And also, like
counterpoint, hand traps.
Realistically, it's just not better than what other decks are doing with 1 card.
No, he's right.
This one is the definition of playing for fun, though, because I actually did think it was very fun.
What deck did he win his World
my opponent was playing it, I had a great...
I think he had like a Dragon Link deck and a Naturia deck.
Time and their combos were actually quite cool. They were like looping.
He played a ton of Naturia because that was the tier format, but he did terrible. Like he didn't do very well. He got like hard carried by Quantal on tier.
Eclipse Twins and drawing a bunch of cards turn 1 and then ending on like
no, he's definitely good. Okay, Joshua Schmidt, here's the thing. Joshua Schmidt plays very well in very specific metagames. He's not a good player, he's good at specific metagames. Sorry, he's a great player. Fantastic, even. I'm shitting on him for a tier list that is very clearly biased, that everyone has biases. It makes sense. That being said, the times that he tends to win are when he tricks his opponents, basically. Right? Where he's like, I'm going to come up with this really cool idea and like kind of catch the metagame off guard, right? Like 60 card Paleo, you know, the like, what was it? Synchro Runic, right? Bestial Synchro Runic, right? Stuff of that nature. When he won the World Championship, I hate to say it, he got hard carried. His team, Emery and Quantal, fucking carried his ass. And as much as, like, I don't know, as much as people see Joshua Schmidt as, like, the best player on that team. He wasn't. It's always been Quantal. Emery has always done significantly better than him, at least in regards to World Championships, and at least in regards to Master Duel. And I think it is because Josh, I think, is very good at playing in person. And I think he's not nearly as good at just, like, understanding a format. Like, he does have to kind of trick his opponents to win. And I think we see that at this point. You're saying the quiet part out loud. Sorry. And I mean, if we look at other, like, top players, I think there's not as much of, like, a distinct era that they're good in. I think, like, pretty much his entire team, all of the
Future and, like, IP Masquerade and something else, it was cool. I like
are very similar. Like Dinkabui, him, I don't know who else all is in that team, but they're very, like, we're gonna catch you off guard, and that's how we're gonna win. And it works. Like, it's very smart, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they know how the metagame works or what the best decks are. And I think it's very clear with the Yummy placement here.
I thought it looked awesome, but it's obviously weak into Charmies, and I don't know how good your going second is. You have a lot of normal summons, and Barrage is your extender, I guess, but that's not really that much. So it's probably a fun option, but nothing else. But I still want to try it. I want to give it a shot after the WCQ is over and see if I can make something work with it. I think it's awesome. Okay, Hecka Hands is not even a functional deck, unfortunately. I think this deck was.
No, my heck. Yeah, he's right. I hate to say, yeah, he's
was
right
awesome.
about that one.
My video where I tried this deck in the Dice Rally event is that's one of my most fun Dice Rallies I've ever had. This deck is crazy fun.
People really swing to
just
the other
didn't
side
make
too
it
much.
functional.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Look,
Hecka got no
as
hand.
much as I make fun of Europe, like,
really,
Josh still
this deck
has
is like,
fun.
it feels like it's made either
the second or third most YCSs. Like, he's an incredible player. I'm acting, you know, we say, like, oh, he's terrible, or blah, 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 blah. But it's like, no, he's, like, a phenomenal player. That doesn't necessarily mean he knows everything about a metagame, and that he has, like, his finger on the pulse, especially in regards to Master Duel, which is a game he doesn't consistently play, especially in comparison to other players who do consistently play the game, right? Like, if Tatsuku said this, I'd be like, huh? And then I'd have to reevaluate my entire understanding of the metagame. But Josh saying this, I'm like, do you even play this game? Like, huh?
to be splashed in other illusion decks, which we don't really have right now, or it's just made for lower power formats, like when you play an event with custom rules, or I don't know, Genesis format or something.
Good player,
like that,
mediocre advice. That's
just
a great
not
way
made
of putting
to be a
it.
competitive Yu-Gi-Oh deck in Advanced Constructed, I don't think. A lot of people really like the Magnet Warrior deck, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. I think it's all right, but I just don't think it's doing anything.
Did you put it above Malice? What the fuck is happening? Combo. Not combo. Arguably combo. Not combo. Not combo. Not combo.
Special that is not exactly the same with a different flavor than what Elf Note is doing or Mermail is doing or whatever. Maybe that's just me being a combo hater, but I just didn't think it was ever better than other combo decks around.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. It's, I guess, slightly better going second because of the circular.
TCG mind, yeah.
I just can't bring myself. Like, I've been going first against this deck, and it's not really. It can beat Cool Tune. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. The Magnet Warrior deck can have a decent time against Cool Tune, but not into the other decks in the format. Like, you're not consistently beating Draco Tail going second. You're not consistently beating Branded going second. There's no shot. You're delusional if you think that. Your deck going first is auto win. Congratulations. So you're in the same camp as Elf Notes.
Yeah, in a fucking best of one format. You don't get game 2. It doesn't matter. You just have to win that 50-50. If you consistently win the 50-50, you're winning. Congratulations. That's how this works. You don't have to win consistently going second. It's a best of 1. I don't have to play a game 2 or 3. There's no side deck. I gotta kill your ass and then leave.
Back Result K9 is okay.
No! I can't. No. Huh? Where? In what world? In what capacity? How did we come to this decision? Did we? I've had some crazy ideas, but most of the time it's because I actually have an idea about what something is, and I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke. Surely this isn't real. This is a late April Fool's joke. There's no way. There's no way we think that one of, if not the best deck in the game is fucking alright. It's just won the most recent Duelist Cup. And nothing changed about it. Not a thing. It still has a good matchup into Branded and Draco Tail and fucking Cool Toon. What am I missing? Clearly, Fuwo resolves, true. Or Droll, or whatever. Okay. I have to hear his explanations. Because this is... let me just hear what he has to say. Because maybe there is an explanation as to why he thinks this. But I think it's just like, oh, I've played more Branded. And therefore, I think Branded good.
Right now, I think it's just not consistent enough to be happy to play against Cool Toon. It is... not good enough into Charmies to be happy going second. Like, literally, this deck, even though...
What fucking Charmies, dude? What Charmies do you actually genuinely care that much about? Yeah, I guess. You're right. You're right. Imagine being able to play the entire K9 line with, like, fucking one Fuwa draw and then not giving a shit because guess what? You have everything you need right there. And the ability to play from the hand off of things like Holisu and Izana, being able to actually interact favorably with the opponent in any capacity. Not to mention actually being able to kick the teeth in of a lot of decks that want to interact from hand and grave. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't know what he's spouting, but sure.
Endboard is insane, is breakable for decks like Branded and Sky Striker, and going second with it is really, really hard with these decks, against these decks right now.
What are we talking about?
So I'm not the biggest fan of Vanquish Soul K9 right now. So I'm putting it here. It's still a functional deck, but I'm not a huge fan of it. White Forest is Elf Nodes, but worse, right? Probably like...
Here. Oh, cool. He got White for it.
And sometimes they even...
He didn't even get White Forest right. How the fuck is Luna Light lower than White for it? I'm actually going crazy. There's no way that this is actually what we think. Bro hasn't played the game. When did he play the game last? Also, of course it's another fucking combo deck. Yeah, Holisu is at 3. Literally nothing changed since the last Duelist Cup where it fucking won. Huh? And it wasn't even like a fraudulent win where it was like, oh, but they also played this other deck. That was the only deck Totsuku played. And a bunch of other players played it too. Guess what changed? This deck actually became a deck, and this deck got better. That's like it. I guess Radiant Typhoon arguably got better too. So maybe, yeah, maybe you put it like down here, or maybe down here, but like it was the definitive best deck in the game, and now it's all right? Where the fuck are we coming from with this? Oh, don't worry, Stake Your Soul got limited to 1 as opposed to at 2. That totally matters. The fuck are we talking about, bud? Huh? This is just a TCG tier list. Ignore this. This is a TCG tier list. Master Duel? Change that. That's TCG. That's a TCG tier list. Cool, let's move on, shall we? Because dear Lanta. Speaking of which, I'm going to be playing Malice for the second stage here. Vanquish Soul can out-resource Branded? Yeah. I do have a hard limit. I am going to play 10 games. That's it. I really don't like this format. I think it's really annoying. So, there's that. Today I learned that Albion and Lubellion can fusion summon the Odeon fusion monster. That's hilarious. He can't stop the TCG brain. True. Do I have Imperm? I do. Is this 3? It's 4. Okay. This requires Cyberse monsters specifically. So can't really do anything with that. That also requires Cyberse monsters. It's been negated. If I go that into dump, can't really do anything off of that. Because I can't then normal summon a guy. Go from there, because this requires a Cyberse monster special summon from the extra deck. Dark to dice. Dark. That monster in defense. Damn. Okay. We will just pass the turn. Who's letting VS out resource their branded deck? Good players. Good Vanquish role players, I guess. Yeah, can't really do anything about that. Rotary Q Valor Imperm. Cool. Fucking love this game, dude. Yeah, dude, no, this game's real good. Against one of my weaker hands, too. Imagine if that was like an actual normal summon. Does that count? Yeah. God, I fucking hate gold. I love that hand trapping it is basically impossible. But yeah, it can hand trap you into oblivion. What a good deck. What a good deck. What a good deck. Yeah, dude. What a fair deck. And then I draw going first hand. God, this game. Yeah. Izana, sure. Not playing around Droll, sure. Absolutely. They haven't normaled, so they can normal Noir here. Look at the hand. Do I care about them looking at the hand? A little. Not a lot. Nash Knight. Sure. Oh, wow. Raisin. Raisin. Yeah, you got it. I mean, if they have everything, there's nothing I could do there. Maybe I'll draw a playable hand this time. It's relatively playable. It's not great, though. I don't love it. Go for it. And then because they're a 60 card player, they also drew Harpy's Feather Duster and are going to activate Harpy's Feather Duster here, right? Sure. I don't know why the fuck we did that. Sure. I really don't want you getting access to your spell traps, specifically. Sure. Ecclesia. Huh? Why? Yeah? Yeah? Sure. Oh, this is a second Fallen in the Virtuous, isn't it? Yeah, probably. Okay. The glowing button was too tempting. Yeah, clearly. Do they also have Fuwa? No Droll? I wonder why. Cool. Should I have gone for something else there? Maybe. How do you beat Malice? You go first. Or you hope that they bricked, or you drew like Maxi or something? I don't know. It's FTK or get FTK'd, buddy. That's pretty much it. Tragic. It's FTK or get FTK'd. It's that simple. Welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I wish I could say that this was like a unique experience, this format. It's like, oh yeah, normally games... No. No. Like, as it turns out, the combo decks are actually pretty competent and can just kind of kill you. So, having them resolve kind of wins the game. Fun. See, and now I'm about to be FTK'd. Why do these cards reset themselves? Yeah, now I get an infinite amount of advantage, and I lose. Sick. Trying to think what possible draw I could have that would do anything here. And the answer is nothing. I genuinely don't think we can. Oh, they already drew the trap. How interesting. Did they add Phonics? No, they added Crocia. Are you fucking kidding me? Alright, we'll click this button just because I can. And for literally no other reason. Alright, chant. Add. We'll add Swen. Oh, I actually don't want to normal summon this guy. Oh well, guess we are. Damn. Yeah. Should have just added the MST. I forgot that those guys aren't just free special summons, because so rarely does that come up. I don't know how much it would have mattered, but... eh. How many was that? 6? Incredible hand. Mix. Sick. That's an incredible... Crazy draw. Summon Mix. Mix doesn't really do anything here. Unless they already have a clip in hand. True. Yeah, I guess we could do that. That also works. Do you have Droll? Droll kind of goes crazy. Okay. They have nothing. Oh no! Cool, anyway. Let's go for... Whitebinder? Man, imagine if I didn't draw the March Hare here. I guess MTP is probably the best. Cool, anyway. We'll go Link Decoder here. We'll Splash Mage. Splash Mage. This guy. We'll go... this guy here. Cool, good game. Whoa, crazy. How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more. 3 more. 3 more. Yep, Malice is very good. Wow, what a tragic hand. I can't really do anything with this. Exo. Interesting. It's like any Cybers does it here. That's a great Cybers. Maybe I should have just banished, go... yeah, that's what I should have done. I kind of misplayed here. Okay. We'll just go combat. And Fuo? I guess it could just be a second imperm. It's not really a point in me going anything here. I guess like SP's pretty good. We'll just pass. Martha. Nimit. Lingaribo. Set Vadis. Pass. Sure. It's also pretty good. That's also pretty good. I'll take it. Ah, 'tis imperm. We'll go Quick Kid. Quick Kid. March Hare. Banish White. For this guy, Chain Link 1. Banish. Chain Link 2. Chain Link 3. And then Chain Link 4. Damn. Mm-hmm. Oh, fun. Oh, and it's against Sky Striker. Yay. You all love Sky Striker, right? Mm-hmm. I love that my opponent gets to have infinite advantage now. Oh, wrong artwork. Yeah. Man, what a good card. What a good, fair, balanced Yu-Gi-Oh card, huh? Isn't Vision just really cool? Add linkage, draw a card. Yes, it's very cope. Maxi will likely last forever. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yo, is that motherfucking Ray? I can't believe they printed Vision. Like, what a crazy card to print. They've already used 2 linkage. Do they have the 3rd? Did they search the 3rd? Mots. Shizu. What the fuck are we doing? Okay, I guess we're just being bad. Cool. They can't grab linkage, so... Lemniscate. Are we gonna go Lemniscate? Okay. Magnum Hut. Banish this guy. Yeet. Sick. Rabbit Druis Worm. Now, I could put it on the field. The question is, do I want to? Nah, that's fine. Face down droplet? True, probably. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, I hate it here. That's so stupid. Let's add a guy. We'll add Eldam because literally I've drawn all of my Radiant Typhoon cards here. We'll go Chant. Add an MST. Sure. Ass Blossom and Joyous Spring. Sure. Cool. Do I draw 2 or do I just add MST? I guess draw 2 is arguably better. Cool. We'll go Phoenix. Phoenix effect. Pitch of Malice. This one. Widow Anchor. Mm-hmm. Druid's Worm. Banish the Malice. Mm-hmm. 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 March Hare. Finish March Hare. Could have done that better. They don't have a second Widow Anchor. Right. Okay, we'll go combat here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a shit game. Man, I hate Sky Striker. If I drew almost any other Cybers, I think we're fine there. All right, last game. How many times have I gone first? Like twice? No, it's been more than that. It's been like 4 times. The fuck is Beld gonna do? Oh. Oh, that was not at all what I was expecting. Do they have the quick play? Surely not, right? Do they have Valor? Loudness War. Well, that's not very good. That don't do jack and or shit. That's crazy. Ah, fucking Gorse. Ash. Damn. Let's go. Add Eldam. If they have Valor in hand, I'm going to lose my mind. They might have Droll, which is fine. Yeah, they do. Okay, cool. Uh-huh. Cool, good game. There we go. There's our 10 games. What, I went 6-4, I think? Yep. 6-4. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, I like have no desire to play any more of this format. This format kind of sucks. Cool tune and like a bunch of bullshit ass combo decks. What a great experience. What did we play against? It was like 90% cool tune and like a striker player. It's like, oh, sick, dude. What a good format. Now do it for 3 days. No. You can't make me. Not this format. I played the previous World Championship qualifier, or I guess it was Duelist Cup. I played the previous Duelist Cup a ton because it was fun, because I enjoyed that format. Like, that was a good format. This one is so fucking boring. Oh, we played against Radiant Typhoon, true. 2. So that was fun. Yeah. I don't really have anything else. I don't know. I guess we could play like a Neocraft or something. KT Elfno, after being away for months, it didn't go well. Gee, I wonder why. I don't know. Branded RT, Striker, and KT. True. His last format was Drytron Herald. Oh, that's not much different. It's always funny that people remember that format by Drytron, even though Drytron was like the 4th best deck. Which was something. I'm at dual level 16. Wow, crazy. I don't really have a good deck here. No, didn't we also play against Vanquishal? Yeah, we played against a lot of different decks. Never mind. KT was the most represented, but I think it was like all different decks other than that. And one deck that immediately left as soon as I did any Malice stuff. We could play Magnet. Or we could have fun. True. True. What's a fun deck? Memento? We could play Memento. I like Memento. Okay, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Is there anything I want to change with this? Maybe super poly? Would have liked Drytron a bit more if it wasn't just a shell of a deck. True. True. I don't think I would ever like Drytron. I'm not gonna lie. Drytron never really interested me. I don't know what it was about Drytron. It just like... I don't know. I've always kind of disliked combo decks. Where it's like, you either do the combo or you die. Never really been too big of a fan of that. But I guess Drytron... I don't know. Drytron's card... They also just didn't interest me, like, at all. The Drytron monsters, the Drytron rituals, the Drytron effects... I don't know, they just weren't interesting. I never once looked at that deck and thought, that seems fun. We'll cut this. Just play... Do you play Droll? How good is Droll? I don't know. It's decent. It's decently good. We'll just play Fua. Maybe instead of Droplet? Yeah, we'll do that. Sure. I don't know. I don't know. I guess Fua's not, like, great right now. It hasn't felt great. It's more so insurance for bullshit, which there's a lot of. But maybe Droll would be better. Maybe Droplet would be better. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Nice hand. Okay. Tatsu Fua. Okay. Imperm? Imperm's like the one thing I could think that it is. But then why would you not use it on this guy? It's a good question. I don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. I haven't destroyed anything, so Verite kind of doesn't do anything. Yeah. Okay, I'll just make SP. That's fine. Maybe I shouldn't let it be fine, but that's fine. Huh? Huh? Sure. Oh, you're... Of course, game. Of course. Okay, I have to change up my lines because we don't have Sleepy. Because, of course, they hit... I mean, that could have been, like, anything, to be fair. It's not surprising, it's just frustrating. You, and... You, and you. Uh-huh, Gaddock. Special. Gaddock. We'll add this guy. Activate Anduich. We'll grab, I guess Goblin makes the most sense here. So we'll go Goblino. Goblin. Send this one and this one. Fusion. Add this. Akihiron here. Yes. Bones. They have Nibiru. That's good to know. I figured that was the case. We'll go. Yeah, I guess we'll go Dark Blade. Grab Fusion. Meh. We'll go Anduich. Cool. Fusion. For this guy. 1, 2, 3, go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You. You. I don't know, Dark Blade, I guess. Sure. Out comes this guy. We'll put back that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Mm-hmm. I can make like Garura here. Yeah? Yeah. Which is lethal. Okay, cool. hilarious. Bro really saw the first threat and was like, that one! Imagine if they didn't banish my additional fusion monster. Or fusion spell, I should say. In the form of a monster. Don't worry about it. Imagine if they didn't banish the guy that gets me an additional fusion in Sleepy. First! Oh, fun. This Tenpai? The amount of times I've seen, like, random Cool Tune or branded players go second is alarming. It's quite often. Alright, we'll start with Goblin. 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 We'll send a Gaddock. And a Sleep. Sleep! Gaddock. I have a feeling they have Ash. Sleep. Twin Dragon. Ash. Oh? Okay. Grab this guy. Add Lucky Huron. Sleep. Fusion. Fusion. Add the fusion spell. No, it's not Ash. What the fuck is it? Oh. We'll special this guy, I guess. Cool. We'll go Bone Party. We'll go special Angewitch. Chain link one Angewitch. Chain link to Kihiron. Grab the. We already have the fusion spell. We'll grab the Bone Party. Yeet. Add from deck to hand. I really want to make use of Mace, but I don't know if there is a use case for it here. So I'm just going to add it to hand for later purposes. All right, we'll go Tatsu. Tatsu. Level 2, specifically. Good to know. Okay. I'll send this guy. Send Darkblade. Kihiron. What's up, Angel? How's it going? We'll go Cross EP. Fusion. This guy. You. Oh, I put back the wrong guy. No, that matters. Frick. Banish this guy. Add field spell. And which, I guess we'll go Goblin. Pop Self. Goblin. Reborn. This guy. The fuck did you have? Bro just got bored. Bro just got bored watching me play solitaire. Why'd you go second? What was your plan? I figured they had like Ash or something and they were waiting to use it. And then they just never did. Alright, cool. I figured they would have used it on the Twin Thunder Dragon, but they didn't. Yeah, that sounds about right. You were playing Yu-Gi-Oh, so they naturally were allergic to it. True. True. I probably lose this game, but I do have the ability to play here if it's just Vanquishal. If I see a canine monster, I do explode. So, there's that. Also, I'm not gonna lie, this hand is kind of ass. Not gonna lie, this hand, kind of bad. Drew the Gaddock, yeah. Oh, damn, they have everything. Never mind, I'm fucked. Never mind, I'm fucked. It's over. Though, to be fair, we're not in stage 2, so there's a high probability that my opponent misplays this horrendously. Let's find out, shall we? What if they go for, like... Nope, they do have a fire. Oh, and it's fucking Xiaolong. Oh, man. I don't even know if you can misplay it at this point. Man, you just click buttons and you'll probably win. I gave myself a hard limit. I was like, I'm going to play 10 games and then I'm just going to call it quits. Because I was like, I have no desire to actually play second stage. Like, it's so... This format has been so bad. Is there a reason we didn't summon the Xiaolong earlier? Like we just elected not to? If I draw like Super Poly, we might have game here, but realistically, I'm just dead. So far, they're playing this pretty well. Oh, they have Lupus in hand. That's good to know. I know the whole hand. If they have Lupus in hand, I know the entire hand. That's crazy. Okay, good to know. They didn't grab Lantern, though. Wait, hold on. Why the fuck did we send Noir? Wait, now I'm confused. We added Izuna. And didn't dump. So, wait, do we have Lantern in hand? Because we added Izuna. Okay, I have no idea what the fuck we're doing here. Did they need an Earth? Why would they need an Earth? I don't need an Earth. Ash Knight. Sure. I could make Anima. I don't know how much that matters, though. I think this is basically like draw super poly. Pray. Because like other than that, I don't really have anything. We'll find out. I have no idea what this is. I think I know all the cards in hand. Oh, fun. I need them to hit Gaddock here. It's like the one play I have. I guess Fusion would also work. Yeah, fucking course. All right. Gimme. If this is Snow Devil, I am still fucked. Ugh, I need a third name here. It kind of sucks. How do you work? Send. Yeah, we'll grab this guy. They have Ghost Spell? The fuck are you summoning here? Yeah, that's fine. There's no shot you have Snow Devil. There's no way you have Snow Devil here and I just die. Oh, it's like a 10 out of 10, dude. Got him. Okay. Let's see. Let's go Sleepy. Sleepy. Should have called Earth. With this guy. Just in case this is imperm. I doubt it is. But just in case, I should have. You. Incredible. Yeah, we'll declare Earth. I think that makes the most sense. Boom. To be fair, I think even without the Super Poly, I think we still can win that game. We're put into like a really good position because of the Roach and the Super Poly. Holy shit, what a terrible hand from your boy. Holy crap. What an absolute goddamn travesty. Jeez, I'm crow. Chain link 1. Chain link 2. Could be worse. Imperm? Phonics. Oh no. Cool, now I don't have to deal with Jack Andor shit. That's awesome. Except for the fact that now they're gonna have Sheena, aren't they? I'll go get it. They didn't have Sheena there. That's interesting. Okay, we'll go Tatsu. 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 Self, I guess. We'll go Mace. Pop Self once again. Do I have Elf in here? Why the fuck do I not have Elf? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know, man. I should be playing it, and I'm just not. Add a fusion spell. Get rolled, cry. Cool. Now we can go sleepy. Sleep. Sleep. Fusion. Twin Dragon. Twin Dragon. Yeet. Add, this guy. And this guy. Good night, Jam. Fecto. This guy. What does this card say? God, what a horrible deck. What a horrible deck. Okay, we'll grab Goblino here. Goblino. Goblino. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Three face-up cards. We'll go fusion. This guy. Add fusion. We'll go chain. 1. Target. No, we'll go chain 2. And it shuffles them? But of course. Why wouldn't it? Julio. Get him out of here. One, 2, 3. Creation King. Creation King. Okay. We'll set 1, we'll set 2, we'll pass the turn. We'll go like this. Reset fusion. Sure. Hmm. Sure. Sure. I guess we'll do this guy. Chain link 1. Chain link 2. Target. Chain link 3. Sure. Sure, yeah. Do it again. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't really have another way of getting that into rotation. Mm-hmm. Sure. Which one? Swen. What the fuck is Swen gonna do? Add another MST? Yeah, fucking go for it, bud. Yeah. Everyone is facing Radiant? Why? Who the fuck is playing Radiant? Who the fuck wants to play Radiant? That's the real question. Psychopaths. Make Typhon! Comedy. Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. Mm. Why in the Sure. Little sleepy. I guess this guy, sure. Nice. Nice draw. Be a shame if it did anything. I know they literally don't have an MSD, right? Yeah. That's crazy. Sure. This is monster effect, right? Yeah. Advararoon. Crosia. Does that still trigger? Let's find out. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Holy shit, it does? Why the fuck does this resolve? Alright, cool. Thanks, game. Chain link 1. Chain link 2. Chain link 3. this guy, and this guy. Oops. Radiant Typhoon, am I right? We all love playing against Radiant Typhoon. Alright, I'm gonna call it quits there. I likely will not be back with Stage 2 because, I mean, we've all seen the metagame. We're not fans of it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope that you guys did enjoy it. If you did, like, it's very much so appreciated. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Wrong button.